Thanks for tuning in to this earnings conversation with the management of Delta Corp. The stock has zoomed into orbit today and it's had a good run in the recent past, presumably with the market believing that the opening up of the economy will see more business coming across its hospitality as well as the gaming business. Hardik Dhebar joins in to put the quarter two into perspective and give us some sense of what they anticipate in the busy season ahead. Hardik, great having you. Thanks so much for joining in. I hope all is safe.
Hi, Niraj. Good morning. It's good to talk to you after a long time. Yes, by the grace of God, everything is fine on the personal front. And like you rightly said, now looking good on the business front as well.
Okay, let's just talk a little bit of the rewind of the past, Hardik, before we talk about the future. So when I looked at your numbers and I compared Q2 over Q1, no reason, but just using that as a benchmark, there is about a 15% increase in sales. While the quarter was dampened with some restrictions. So can a fully open economy and a marketplace mean that the increase in the numbers would be that much more pronounced?
So Niraj, I think one has to look at it in perspective. While you said quarter one over quarter two, please appreciate the fact that in quarter one, we had a 1 full month of operation in the month of April before we actually were asked to close down. And therefore, if you look at it in perspective and compare the quarter two, we have had only 10 days of operations in Goa, 20 days of operations in Nepal, and 40 days of operations in Sikkim. So, and despite that, we have been able to match the turnover. So if you look at the weighted average number of days that we have actually operated is about 15 days of operations, give and take. So what we actually achieved in 1 month of operation, we have been able to achieve in a 15-day kind of a cycle or a 10-day kind of a cycle. So, that basically goes to show the kind of robustness and the resilience that the business is inherent with. And we are very hopeful. And like you rightly said, we are already clocking the run rate at our pre-COVID levels. And with this trajectory and with, like you said, the busy season as far as Goa as a state is concerned, we believe very strongly and we are very sure that we should be able to surpass the pre-COVID numbers in terms of the revenue.
Okay. Can you break down, even if it's for that weighted average period of 15 days, can you break down how did hospitality versus gaming versus online do individually? And I don't want you to tell me numbers that you can't tell, but since October is almost a fully open month, so to say, how is the customer response been to each of these three segments for you?
So, hospitality, fortunately, we have two hotels. One, obviously, in Goa, which is more dependent on the gaming business because we don't market that hotel as a hotel. It is more, complementing my Goa casino business. So that obviously got impacted because of whatever was happening in the gaming side of our business. Whereas Daman has been operational throughout because there was no restrictions on the hotel industry as such. There were restrictions that were to be followed, which they were following. And I am very happy to say that the Daman hotel has been back to contributing at the EBITDA level, which it was doing in the pre-pandemic levels. So we are doing very fine as far as the Daman hotel is concerned. Now with the casinos also open in Goa, the Goa hotel will start picking up its business and will start picking up the revenue stream. And it should always, it was always a complementing asset or a complementing nature to my Goa casino. So that doesn't really matter on what the revenue or what the EBITDA is. And that's a small contributor in any case. With from the offline gaming perspective or the casino gaming perspective, let's look at the locations that we are in. One is Goa, which is the lion's share of the business. Then there is Sikkim. And then there is Nepal, which we actually started in February 2020. And in 15 days time, we hit the pandemic and there was a lockdown and, Nepal never operated. So when you look at the three scenarios, in the current year, we had Sikkim, which operated for the most number of days. So we began operations in Sikkim on 16th of August. So we had about 45 days, roughly 45 days of operation because we started on the 16th. You don't get people coming in from the 16th itself. So, about 45 days of operations. But what happened is when Sikkim opened, Sikkim was probably the only destination that was, a gaming destination available to people. And what that did to Sikkim revenue and Sikkim business is that we clocked the revenue of roughly about 15 crores in this quarter, which is equivalent to or slightly lesser than the revenue that we had done in the full of 2019. And now, with other destinations opening up, while the run rate has kind of rationalized, but the run rate is far, far in excess and far better than what it was in the pre-pandemic level. So Sikkim's contribution to the overall business is bound to get stronger and bigger in the coming quarters and in the coming years. And we had always said that Sikkim is a market which over a period of time will develop and start contributing to the top line. Coming to Nepal. Nepal started on 8th of September, so we had about 20 days of operations. This was the first 20 days of operations that casino actually operated. And I'm very happy to say in the first 20 days, we've got a contribution about 4 odd crores coming in from Nepal, which is a good start, so to say. A new market, untapped territory, whatever you may call it. We are very new to that market. And to have this kind of a number coming in from month one, or rather 20 days, is a good start to go by. And then finally coming to Goa, the 10 days of operations that we had in the month of September, we started on the 20th of September, and the numbers that we published are up to 30th of September. What we did in the entire month of April in Goa, we have been achieving that in 10 days of time. So actually, if you see the numbers and if you break up the numbers, the lion's share of the revenue has come in 10 days as against what it happened in 1 month in the first quarter. So that is the kind of robustness and resilience that we are looking at. Coming to online space, online has been a steady business which happened through the pandemic. That was one business which kept on running. Now, what happened in the last year when the pandemic set in the first time around, people thought, and the pandemic was much stronger, much stricter for the first quarter. And every online platform, whether it is online gaming, whether it is online, the OTT platforms, everybody saw a spurt in registrations, a spurt in usage, a spurt in screen time, so to say. And that showed a robust and abrupt, I would say, an abrupt growth in the first quarter of 2020, which as and when from June, July onwards, when the things started opening up, started tapering down and has kind of rationalized. As far as we are concerned, I think we followed the industry. And if you appreciate, we are in a business of poker, not rummy or fantasy, which is a mass market kind of a business. Poker is a very niche business. To get people to understand poker, to get people to play poker, it takes a lot of education. And therefore, unlike a rummy or a fantasy, you don't see 100 million users, 200 million users, or 50 million users getting logged in all the time. So poker is a business, but it's a very profitable business. And, we used this last 1.5 years to build a good, robust platform, a good, robust team on the back end. Because, the founders had exited the business, the old management was on its way out. So we got a full-fledged team now. We have a very good team. Our back end is very good. And not only we started focusing on Rummy in a decent way, but we also introduced a multi-gaming platform called Adda Games, dovetailing Rummy and, call breaks and fantasy and everything, which basically will be used as a funnel to get the mass market crowd to log into the platform. And then if a percentage of that gets diverted to poker, which is a highly profitable business, that's going to make a lot of sense to the whole platform.
Okay. Couple of hygiene follow-up questions. Would you want to nurture this business more, or if you get a good buyer for the online business, because online gaming is now picking up meaningfully across the world, then you don't mind selling a part or full stake?
So we have been very categorical and stated that, Niraj, time and again, that whatever is good for the business, we are always open. If you see in the recent past, we have said that we are looking at raising some capital because that's the organic way to grow, because you need this capital to grow this business. So we need, while Delta has enough resources, it's sitting on 400-500 crores of cash, but we don't want to, mix the two businesses. We want the online gaming to be on its own. And therefore, there is one option of raising capital. At the same time, if there are options which come across our way, which is strategic in nature, or, a good, decent financial partner coming in, coming to partner with us, every option which is good for the business, which will help the business grow in whichever form and fashion, organic, inorganic, all options are always open. And, that's the name of the game, Niraj.
Okay. And just a follow up again, I don't want exact numbers, though you are no longer in a silent period. But have the first 12 days of October been as strong as the last 10 days of September?
Yeah, we are continuing the trajectory, and we have some very exciting things lined up for October and November. We have a tournament weekend that is lined up in October, followed by a Bollywood star weekend that is towards the end of October, and then you go into November, which is Diwali and the peak season as far as Goa is concerned, where the visitations to Goa keep growing. So I think October is already looking good. November can't get better, and like I said, we believe that the quarter should not only meet our expectations but surpass our expectations as well as the expectations of the market.
So I was actually going to ask you that before I ask about some other points, but safe to assume then, Hardik, that October, November, December, like to like, YOI, QOQ, what have you, will actually show an exponential J-curve effect for you in terms of revenues.
Given the base, yes. Given the base, it will look like a J-curve. Otherwise, if you look at a normal year, you would see a steady arithmetic growth, definitely.
Okay. I saw one thing in the quarter, Hardik, that you guys have controlled costs well. I think the employee cost was maybe the biggest difference was made both on the standard and the consolidated book. So margins would have looked better. Is this normalized trajectory for margins? Have you successfully reset the cost levels lower, or will they pick up at a slightly higher proportion than the revenue run rate?
The salary cost will kind of go up a little bit because we had built in some salary deductions for staff across the board. So those are likely to go back marginally. But looking at the way the revenue is growing, I think even if they go back to the full levels, I don't see it's going to dampen the margins a bit. What has also happened that given the constraints that we were in the last 18-20 months, we have found ingenious ways and newer ways to market, newer ways to promote at a more cost efficient way. So those things will be implemented, and therefore, the margins impact will not be as high as the cost going up to that extent.
So the EBITDA losses will cease for sure.
See, Niraj, if you look at it even today, in the current quarter also, if you analyze, there is a 25 crore debit sitting on the P&L for this quarter I'm talking of, which is on account of license fees, which the government has not charged to us. Because we have to provide for it, as per accounting standard, we have provided those fees, the fees are not paid. And then we have a 14 crore depreciation, which is 39 crores against the 22-23 crores of loss that I'm actually reporting. So in a cash position, I'm already making money.
Okay, fair call.
So EBITDA, Niraj, is a no-brainer.
Sure. Now, a couple of questions. One which you may not be able to answer, one which you might be able to answer. Any idea at all about when does Daman allow you to have casino operations?
So, Niraj, the matter is sub judice. We had approached the Supreme Court for a expeditious hearing from the Mumbai High Court. The Supreme Court was kind enough, the Honorable Supreme Court was kind enough to give us that judgment in our favor and has directed the Mumbai High Court to expeditiously hear it. We believe that by 30th of September, the administration of Daman was supposed to respond to our petition, which we believe has not yet happened. So we have anyways sought an early hearing from the court, and we believe as and when the court gives us a hearing, I think with the Supreme Court directive, it hopefully should not take too long for a decision to come. We believe that we have a legally very strong case, and we are very, very confident and hopeful.
Okay. For a lot of people believe it could be a game changer. That's why my interest in this question. My final question, Hardik, and that is actually two-part question. One, what's happening with this whole onshore side of the business promise in Goa? Because that was touted to be a really big thing. Where is it? What is your role gonna be? When does it fructify into some numbers? Can you give us some details?
Yeah, I think it's a good question that you asked, and I'm happy that you asked it because, in December 2020, we received an in-principle approval from the Goa Promotion Board, which basically certified our 100-acre parcel that we have had as investment promotion area. Now it is gone for the final approval. It has gone to the government and the cabinet. Once the area gets designated as an investment promotion area, it makes the life simple for the project because it becomes a single window clearance project as far as we are concerned. So the land has already been purchased, as you are aware. We are already owning a 100-acre parcel, which is about 5 kilometers from the new airport. And the new airport, by the way, the Goa CM made a statement that the next Independence Day, he's hoping that the first flight, the PM will inaugurate the Goa airport. So the airport's on its way. In about 5 kilometers from the airport is the site. What we are envisioning to develop there is, I would call it a mini Vegas or a mini Genting of sorts, where it will be a self-sufficient entertainment city, which will have hotels, entertainment, restaurants, bars, water parks, with 150, 200,000 square foot of casino space. Having said that, we are well on the way. We are waiting for the final approvals, as I said, because that makes my life easier as a company to get its single window cleared. Once those approvals are there, we will start, and we believe that before by November, December, or earlier than that, we should get those approvals in place. So we should start breaking ground, and hopefully in the third quarter, we would be able to share much more detailed highlights of that project as to what is there in store, what are we planning to do, what we want to develop there, what is the project cost, how are we going to fund it. But one thing I can assure you, Delta will continue to remain a debt-free company even after funding this project in entirety. And we will make sure, we are very confident that we will fund this entire investment out of internal approvals. Just to give you a quick snapshot, if we have 2 minutes, we're sitting on about 400 crores of cash as we speak. Assuming that the things go back to normal, of the 2019 levels also, we should be doing an EBITDA of about 350 crores. For 4 years, that makes it about 1400 crores. And 400 crores of 1800 crores is the cash that I have on books. I am not counting any monetization of other investments that we are planning to do, whether my land in Sri Lanka or our stake in Advani. No other monetization counted. We still have about 1800 crores. This project will require me to fund it by 1500 crores or thereabouts. So even after funding this, we should still be a debt-free company with a robust balance sheet and a full-fledged Delta entertainment paradise up and running.
Well, wish you all the best for that, Hardik. Good quarter. The stock price reaction tells that as well. All the best for the quarters ahead, and may the business do really well.
Thank you very much, Niraj. We'll keep in touch and we'll keep talking.
Surely. Look forward to that. Viewers, thanks for tuning into this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hardik.
Thanks, Niraj.
All the best. Thanks, Pratik.
Thank you.